Hello, flyers and modelers. My name's Eric Johnson, and you probably haven't seen me around here very much, probably not at all, but I'm coming to your area of the groups, electric sailplanes area. Wanted to share a style of aerobatics that we have been flying for years over on the slope side, and we're talking about and endeavoring in transitioning that style of aerobatic flying, which we call VTPR. You may have heard of it. We want to transition that over into the electric driven field of flying. And primarily, we would like to try to endeavor doing this in a park area or anywhere away from the slope, flat land or grasslands or the local park, on the beach, anywhere that doesn't require slope lift. And you may think this sounds a little strange. Well, why would he want to try to do that? I mean, the slope is always there, and you can fly it all the time, and what have you. Well, my previous video, I explained some of that reasoning for myself, and I'm moving over into the electric area because it's a necessity for myself, and I'm discovering that there is actually a very good possibility that this could be successful for some that really want to do some pretty extreme aerobatics. So I wanted to introduce this to you and give you some kind of a background of what it's about in case you don't know what it's about. I do have a website that covers most all of this and a lot more with videos and discussions about planes and pilots and uh, specifications and all kinds of stuff at vtpraerobatics.blogspot.com if you'd like to visit there sometime, and you get a lot of information. But for the purposes here, I wanted to just kind of give you a basic overview. And basically what VTPR aerobatics is, and this is quoted by a Frenchman, where the French designed and came up with VTPR over 25 years ago. And this is what he has said. His name is Pierre Rondel. VTPR aerobatics is a very spectacular type of glider aerobatics that requires very good skills and no fear. And that's a real key thing about VTPR. And that's in conjunction, the no fear factor is in conjunction with the airplane, airframe that you have that gives you very, very predictable um, personality, or the way it flies. All of its characteristics are very predictable, that the pilot doesn't have to worry about certain setups and things. Once he's set, he's real comfortable. Then the two become one, as it does in any type of flying with gliders, but especially in VTPR, because in VTPR aerobatics, your the main zone of flying is anywhere from 2 wingspans to the ground. In that zone is where this sport lives and breathes. And you've everybody flies aerobatics. There's all kinds of ways of doing it, different types of airplanes, sizes and shapes that we're all familiar with. Um, but VTPR is kind of a niche area that few really venture into because it's very dangerous. And to put a $1,500 or $2,000 model out there and starting to perform these kinds of things, you could crack it up right away. So really, VTPR aerobatics is one that it really takes a lot of practice, a lot of stick time, and in working towards that goal through different disciplines in flying, to where you get to where you are very comfortable and to where it actually becomes fun. And so another way to kind of understand it is that it's any aerobatic maneuver or figure, as they're called, or a trick that you have designed that's interpreted by the pilot, that is performed successfully and directly above and close to the ground as possible, and at any desired speed. It could be slow, which requires very little inertia and absolutely no fear. Or it can be flown fast in a racy type of manner, but within that zone I spoke about earlier. Full rolls, half snaps, touches of the tail, touches of the wingtip, all those kinds of things within that realm, within eyesight or just slightly above. That's the real zone of true VTPR. You'll hear a lot of opinions out there, and there are many, and there's people that actually fly VTPR type aerobatics far away or higher above, and they actually call it VTPR, though they look like VTPR figures and maneuvers. But it really isn't. That's just general slope aerobatics. It doesn't become VTPR until it's right in that zone again. And we always have to try to drive down to that zone. It gets touchy, it gets hard, it's exciting, it's scary. So model design is very important. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the models and construction currently in slope VTPR, which we've been flying models for years and years and have purpose-built models just for it, such as the Sonic or the Excalibur out of France, which you can't buy the kit, they're hand-built. In America, the Lafiche foamy model is very pivotal in learning. It's what I used to get into the sport 8-9 years ago, and it was very good for me. Kind of an indestructible plane, so I could really drive it down as far as I wanted, and a very well performing plane. Another one is the Zeppelin. It's a wood version, similar to Lafiche in size, about a 1.7 meter. A Volent is another one. It's a kind of a little bit a different type of style. It's based off the Sonic, which is a 2.5 meter. Veneered wings, white foam, carbon fiber pieces and bits with balsa wood. And there's another plane that's been around for a long time. The Voltage is another plane that's good for VTPR. There's, in fact, any plane that you can maneuver within that zone and is light enough to handle it and be able to make the maneuvers in those areas, that's VTPR. It doesn't have to be exactly a special plane to do it. If you've got a plane and the skills and you can do it, then that's great. We love it. So basically the types of gliders, the French designed this 25 years ago and brought it to America about 2005. Was introduced over here in America by the French. And so it took off little by little, but we started seeing videos come in. They started filtering in from over there, and one of the world's most famous sites for this happened is called Ménez-Haume in the northwest part of France, Brittany, France. It's probably what we call the Holy Grail slope for VTPR. It's just a beautiful place. And then other places around the world have shown us VTPR type flying. But each slope has their own type of characteristics, which produces different types of models. So it depends on the slope, the lift, the wind, the conditions. So we all know about that, obviously, with gliders, since we have no propulsion. So most of these gliders have a very low weight. I'm just going to try to center in on the 2.5 meter versions. They usually want to be anywhere from it used to be anywhere from 55 to 65 ounces on a 100-inch wing panel type glider. But now they're getting down to 45 ounces. There's some new things that are happening, and one that I'm working on myself, what I've had in my previous video, the Velectro 2.8 is a whole different type of construction to try to keep the weight down and to be durable and economical. Speed again is really not an issue. A lot of people have a problem with it going flying too fast. Oh, that's not really VTPR. That's just slope soaring. But the key again, the main rule is low to the ground. Whether if it's a snap, half snap, or a full roll, or a touch and go, or an inverted touch, or a knife edge, whatever you want to do that's within that realm, it's VTPR, very close to the ground. So again, there's a lot of opinions, but that's the main rule. it's generally for pilots that like to fly in their face. They like to fly close, and they like to woo themselves, woo the crowds or whatever, and just really, I guess you could say people that are, uh, if you look at skateboarding, or if you look at real fancy surfing, um, those types of people, they really go for those kinds of maneuvers in a real extreme. That's similar to what VTPR wants to be. Those type of people have certain skills that go beyond the normal population of soaring. And so there are a few people that do this, but the ones that do are getting a completely total exhilaration out of it that they never experienced before, including myself. I'm hoping you would like to be interested in that sometime. So, like again, it's not about flying far away. It's not about doing really beautiful um, 4-point maneuvers in total, or your typical aerobatic contest type maneuvers. Though if you can do them low to the ground, go for it. It's great. So eye-hand coordination, plane matching with the pilot is all real key items, and each pilot has his own desires. Um, so another motto that the French have come up with to try to put it all in a nutshell is VTPR is about low, lower, and lowest, and having fun doing it. There are some videos that we're going to post on this thread here that you'll see how when they fly over there, there's groups of them, anywhere from 4 to 10 of them at a time, and they play these games with their gliders, and they see who gets the lowest and who can do the most spectacular type of move off the deck. And they're all having fun. You can hear them laughing in the background and just enjoying the whole thing. And sometimes they'll crack a plane up, and they just have fun, even though they broke their boom or what have you. They love flying those planes in that manner, and they'll bring the family out, make a weekend of it. It's a whole kind of like a camping trip at times over there. It's just great. So the reason I'm saying all this is because the plane that I'm introducing, I'm going to have a build thread going in on this and showing what I'm coming up with, and along with the videos and other things that I've done, and hopefully others will chime in as well to help you folks that are flying electric type planes to maybe see an electric version of this, which is what we are doing. We are going to transition from the slope to the park with an electric powered aerobatic glider, which I call an MVG, or a motorized VTPR glider. It's specifically designed and purpose built for low aerobatic VTPR type of electric park flying. I have never seen it done. I've seen close versions of aerobatics being done. Like there's 3D, there's all kinds of other electric powered flight aircraft that fly in the park. It's all great stuff. But as far as a glider, it's very rare to see anything like that. I'm going to be posting some videos by Julian Benz, which you probably know who he is. Very, very successful, very proficient glider pilot with his Explorers and other planes. There's a couple videos that he's produced that are really close, though he doesn't quite meet the mark of doing aerobatics and all the other maneuvers in that low range I keep talking about. So hopefully you can stick with us and learn more about this VTPR aerobatics in the park with electric power. I'll be honest, I haven't flown much electric power or any power in my 25 years flying gliders and building them. But I'm kind of approaching it like, well, it's a new frontier for me and for a lot of others. It's something new I can learn, and being on the ground floor, maybe it'll be able to pick it up quicker. Because there's going to be a lot of left thumb work with the motor to keep inertia going with the glider. Sure, we're going to climb out. We're going to probably fly in a 100 to 200 foot box maximum to gain altitude, shut the motor off, come through with kinetic energy, do the maneuvers and whatever we need to do, and then fly out and then come back low and transition to half motor drive or quarter throttle, half throttle, down low within the 10 feet or so area. Try to meld that all together into a manner that it looks appealing. It looks like the figures you're doing are smooth and transitions are well thought out. Those types of things. It's like a paintbrush painting a painting. That's basically what VTPR aerobatics is. There's no set rules. It's mainly fun, and it's about creativity and exploration. So it's a really great hobby. So I hope you guys in the electric field take on to this and stay tuned. So if you have any questions, please post them, and I'll do the best I can to answer you. And we're hoping that others that are on the slope that are doing VTPR will come in here and as well and contribute. Any size plane, any type of plane that's motor driven, that's what this thread is about. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you guys and sharing what I've learned and this model I'm producing at the time right now. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.